Hey guys, it's Kanji once again with another rambling review talking about my figure collection and all that great stuff. And as you will see, this is going to be my first Dragon Ball related video. I did tease previously at the end of my last World Collectible Figures review, if you want to call it a review, it's more just appraising my collection, that I would be doing some Dragon Ball related stuff. And so this is the first video, and as you will see, the first thing that I will be showing you, which literally arrived less than 15 minutes ago from China, is the unofficial Demoniacal fit. Demoniacal? Yeah, that's the one. Captain Ginyu from the Namek saga of Dragon Ball. So this is something that I wasn't originally like jumping for joy over. I wasn't that excited. Then obviously when they released the Namek Goku, I was a little bit more excited because I thought, you know what, these two could look pretty good together in a kind of diorama sort of display. And then obviously once the actual official pictures came, especially when I saw the box and how kind of authentic looking it is, I was totally all over it. So I've seen a few reviews since, and the figure itself does lack a little bit in the QC department from what I've seen. There are some cracks in the moulds on the plastic, typically around the sleeves and the ankles, and I think the shoulder armour seems to be falling off for a few people. But at the end of the day, you know, it isn't authentic. This isn't Tamashii Nation or Bandai. This is literally, you know, one guy working with a team in China to kind of produce essentially like bootleg figures, but of original characters, which I think is awesome, you know. And so far, we just got Ginyu, but we are expecting to see more. Now, this company also produces like hairs, different types of hair. We've seen like lots of different Super Saiyan hairdos for Vegeta and Goku. And also they started off, I think, with the Tien and Yamcha accessories to kind of turn them into sort of Android Saga figures as opposed to Saiyan Saga. But if we just start off then with this, the box, straight away the box, I mean, look, the quality, the finish on that actually is like really good. I wasn't expecting this from a bootleg. You usually get like a kind of faded or like a matte finished card. But no, this is actually pretty good. So on the front there, you know, we've got, you know, all the usual stuff that you'd see on a legit figure. They've got their Demoniacal fit logo there instead of obviously the Bandai one. Some Chinese lettering there. Obviously, I guess for copyright reasons, they've just called him the Special Force Captain as opposed to Ginyu. Otherwise, they'd probably risk getting shut down. Side of the box there, you've got some nice sort of pictures of his face and arm, biceps, a few other bits there. The underneath, pretty much more of the same. Top, you know, again, keeping very much, I like this. They've literally done it just like the new packaging that you get for SH Figure Arts, which is awesome. Special Force Captain. And then one of the most exciting things, I think, is on the back. Along with all these great poses, what we'll also see is Jace. So, yeah, it's pretty much confirmed at this point, I think, that we will be getting more of the Ginyu Force from Demoniacal. I'm pretty excited about that. Prior, I guess, to these getting released, I do have the Dramatic Showcase, which many people kind of argued that they weren't quite in scale. And I'll get onto scale in a little bit once I start unboxing. But yeah, I think what I might do is bring those down and then I can kind of display Demoniacal with Dramatic Showcase to give people an idea of the differing scales. So, first thing I guess I'm going to do is unbox. So they even seal these up with tape, just like Figure Arts. This is so weird. that it's not a figure arts figure. And just for those who are looking for this figure, I'm wondering where they can get it from. I got mine from AliExpress. I think a lot of people have ordered theirs from AliExpress. At the end of the day, AliExpress isn't a seller. They're just a marketplace. So there's lots of different shops on AliExpress, similar to eBay, that are selling these. I got mine from a place called BD House. And I think it cost me $55 US because I got it during one of those sale periods, which was around £40 sterling, and that was with free shipping. I have seen it on eBay slightly cheaper, and that was afterwards. And so at the end of the day, I mean, because they do seem to be coming and they are legit and it's not a scam, these figures are being produced. You know, at the end of the day, I'd buy it from anywhere really that you feel you can get the best value for money, because it's here. So let's pop this open and just take a look at the figure itself. Right. So first thing I'm going to say is it's got some weight to it. I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to be a little bit more lightweight. In my other reviews that I've seen people be quite rough with the posing and moving of the arms and all that kind of stuff. If I'm honest, I'm not going to do that. I am incredibly light handler with my figures. You know, I collect a lot of figures, and I have collected a lot of kind of not so much bootlegs, but third-party produced statues. And at the end of the day, I you know how how easily they can break, and so I know how easily they can break. I know they don't always stand up to a lot of wear and tear, so I am going to be very careful with this Ginyu figure. I probably will show you some shots afterwards once I've posed it a bit, but you know, just looking at it, the face sculpt is amazing. He's got the scouter there, he's got these great sort of veins across his head where he's kind of the braininess. You know, the chest sculpt and the neck have been done really well. The armour, again, I'm not going to fiddle with these too much because they probably will fall off. But to be honest, even like the Figure Arts Vegeta one, the stuff falls off quite easily. So I'm not going to bash it too much for that. I think the paint application is really good. One of the areas I think people had a few complaints about was just the finish on the crotch there. A few kind of moulding issues, but to be honest, I don't think that's really a showstopper. You know, the rest of the arm is pretty good. The knees look good. The legs look good. You know, the feet. If we move it around, you know, again, this one, there's a few imperfections in the armour and the wrist plates, but on the whole, it's actually pretty good, and the same on the ankles. So I think I've done pretty well with this one, to be honest. I don't think I've got any obvious kind of issues with it, production issues. The joint system looks pretty good, and that's one thing I'm not going to get heavily into the joint system, because like I said, I don't want to overwork it on camera. But what I will do is get him into some poses and then share some photos with you guys. But yeah, I mean, just look at him. He is pretty darn awesome. From what I can tell, the joint system is pretty good, though. I mean, he does have a good level of articulation. And, you know, I don't know, yeah, his head's got a bit of a swivel on it. So yeah, I mean, he's pretty awesome all-rounder. I mean, for an unauthentic figure, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I'm not sure how much the leg rotation is gonna go. So I don't know how well we'll do like a kicking motion or anything like that, but I guess I'll play around with that a bit. So let's get on to the accessories. So what I have got here is prepared earlier a Figure Arts one of those stage act bases. Kind of stand, pretty much just goes round. So yeah, it's definitely going to need a bit of a bit of TLC, I think, in order to pose him and make him secure. At the moment, it does kind of feel a bit like he will fall. I know they had some challenges getting him to stand, but to be honest, this is not a issue specific to this figure by any means. This is an issue with all articulated figures, and so, you know, it kind of is what it is. So yeah, let's take a look at the accessories. So the accessories are all here in the box. So basically we've got a Ginyu there with his scouter on his face with kind of a bit of a kind of grimace, I guess, is what's there. Here is Ginyu with his kind of smirking face, which is pretty good. So that's one head. And then I guess this is Ginyu without the scouter with a smiling face. So, yeah, so I'm guessing the scouter isn't removable. It's actually attached and is part of those heads. So if you want to display them without the scouter, then you'd need to kind of take it off. And then in terms of other accessories, we've got these open hands, which are pretty good. I'll get out the other one. So, I mean, you may have seen some of the artwork of some of the displays you could have them with. So I guess the open hands is kind of for this display here. And then I've got some palms here, which I guess are kind of for that look. And you know, then I've also got pointed fingers, which are for this one. So yeah, that's basically all of the accessories. So I can go on to, yeah, so these are the pointed figures. So these are pretty much all of the hands and the open palms. I can actually get them out. And the open palms are kind of like that with his thumb in. And they've been pretty well sculpted, well molded. What I didn't actually show you was more heads. So yeah, I just noticed in the bottom right hand corner of the packaging there are actually additional heads as well, and these are open mouth heads for him kind of shouting, I guess, kind of fight pose. So I reckon more than likely those are the heads I'm going to go for. And then of course there is one without the scouter. So I think at this point I'm probably going to have to rewatch some of Namek, try and figure out which point he was probably in his best battle with Goku and some of the best poses, and then figure out whether he's wearing a scouter or not, trying to make it as kind of canon as possible for my display. And then I'd like to get him in a kind of cool sort of a dynamic pose as much as possible, because at the moment he's just kind of standing there, and it's not really, you know, the greatest. But yeah, I mean, that is the Demoniacal fit Ginyu, and I've posed him obviously there with Goku, Namek Saga Goku, which I got back in May. which again is an awesome figure. I'll probably go on to do like more figure reviews and stuff with other figures as we go. You'll notice there I've got my Boo and Vegeta in the background from, which I kind of showed before, and I've done a little bit more with that now with kind of the lightning effects and this little like JoJo or onomatopoeia faceplate sort of thing, nameplate. And yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. AliExpress or eBay. Don't pay the crazy prices. I've seen him go for like, you know, I don't know, as much as like 70 or 80, maybe more, like $90. There is absolutely no point. Get him for $50, $55, and you'll definitely won't regret it. I hope they do Chase soon. That's going to be a really awesome addition. And yeah, I hope we get even more. I think they showed us a Guldo kind of prototype head, which was pretty sweet. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. And then, of course, you know, in terms of Berta and Raccoon, scale-wise, they're going to have to be massive, which means price-wise, they're probably going to have to be quite expensive as well. But just talking about scale, actually, before I sign out, yeah, initially when I saw the pictures and I saw him posed, I thought he looked a bit big. I have to be honest. And based on kind of some of the stats that I've read, he's supposed to be 2 meters tall, I think it is. Whereas Nappa's supposed to be like 2.8, and I think Piccolo's supposed to be like 2.26 or something. Clearly the Piccolo figure arts is too small. That's why I have got the figurized version there. And the figurized version comes up pretty much the same height as Nappa. So even then, he's probably a little bit too short. And from what I can tell, this Ginyu figure, from some of the kind of scale pictures I've seen, he's the same height as Nappa as well. So, you know, Ginyu, Nappa, and Piccolo figurized will probably all stand around about the same height. So I will probably do another sort of display to kind of show them all together and get you an idea of how big they are. But yeah, for now, this is me signing out. I've rambled on for enough and wasted enough of your time. Any comments, any requests, just hit me up. I'm always online and ready to chat. And I hope you've enjoyed this first review from Kanji and my Dragon Ball collection. Happy collecting. Bye.